Council. I'm Mark Woldinger. I'm the Director of the Department of Planning and Development Review, and we're here to talk about focus area number 1, which is unique, healthy, and inclusive communities and neighborhoods. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge the support that we've received from DCAOs Dr. Graham and Mr. Chapman, the co-conveners of the group, which are Ms. Gonzalez to my immediate left and Mr. Dunlap on my right. Other members of the team that will be either presenting today or available to answer questions include John Winter from the Department of Public Works, Harry Coulter, the Library Director, Jacob Helmbold, our Pedestrian Bicycle Trails Coordinator, Measures Cara, Nosrati, and Benjamin from Public Works for some trail discussions, and Dr. Merrifield from Parks for park development. So it's a pleasure to be here today to present our quarter findings. In the issue paper that focus area group number 1 went, we wanted to talk about a lot of things about how do we create healthy and vital neighborhoods. And with that, our intent under the vision was to create vibrant, attractive, and sustainable neighborhoods which are characterized by a number of things. Number 1, that they are healthy and well-educated population with a diversity of incomes. We'll talk a little bit more of that later. That we have exceptionally designed living spaces. I think everybody deserves a great neighborhood. Everybody deserves a great place to live. Certainly one of our goals is to help move toward that. Thirdly, that we have a network of interconnected neighborhoods that offer a broad array of services, learning opportunities, recreational opportunities, cultural and human service opportunities, so that people feel connected to the larger community, people feel connected to the larger city, and a lot of those services can be developed within their own neighborhood. So as we get past the vision, how do you create that vision? How do you attain that vision? And our overarching goal was to develop complete neighborhoods. I mean, some of you have heard about complete streets, but the idea of creating complete neighborhoods where residents and business owners can have their day-to-day needs met in close proximity to where they live. Understanding when we're talking about complete neighborhoods that there really is no single entity, either the city or not in the city, that really can help make that happen. We can't do it all. We need to work together. And understanding how we work together must lead us to the idea of creating successful collaborations for both what we want to do today and what we need to do over the long period. So to look at that, our focus paper really took a look at 3 kind of what I would consider to be critical elements to the idea of creating unique, healthy, and inclusive communities and neighborhoods. And number 1, chapter 1 is the built environment. Clearly, neighborhoods are places. And how do we create places where we have good housing, a good mix of housing, revitalized commercial corridors and gateways? How do you pass through? How do you arrive? And how do we think about downtown Richmond now that the downtown plan has been adopted for almost 2 years now as an improving neighborhood in its own right, no longer just the city's central business district. Neighborhoods obviously are also places of people. How do we create human services so that people feel connected to their neighborhood and to their larger area by developing neighborhood-based service delivery, equitable access to the variety of services that many of us take for granted, and including public safety and educational outreach as critical components of building healthy neighborhoods. People need to feel safe and secure. Before we can do a lot of other things, we need to plug that into the equation, and a lot of that will come up under the other presentations you will hear later. Lastly, the quality of life. You've got a place, you have people. What are those elements that we need to add across the city and in a variety of neighborhoods that will enhance our investment in public infrastructure and facilities, provide opportunities for community dialogue at places where people can gather, and then provide opportunities again for learning and recreation. I'll go through these next couple slides very quickly. Obviously, some of the critical issues we face is physical decay. It was mentioned in transportation. We're an older community. That means a lot of our stuff, other than just our transportation infrastructure, is old, so there needs to be reinvestment. And we've seen some disinvestment in blight. How do we address that strategically and over the long term? We have a significant problem where we do have vacant structures throughout the city. Vacant structures certainly send a bad signal about investment. We need to address the issues of vacant structures and, as was mentioned earlier, the aging infrastructure. We may have health and safety issues related to poor access to health and other services, marginal living conditions. Not every deteriorated, dilapidated structure is vacant, and we need to address that issue. Criminal activity and violence certainly hinders our ability to have healthy neighborhoods, and we have high instances of people at risk, particularly our youth. Neighborhoods are also places where financial activities occur, and we need to think very carefully about how we create financial investment tools to make neighborhoods all that they can be, by reducing the concentration of poverty in many of our neighborhoods, by enhancing the opportunity to remove ourselves from economic isolation by building more inclusive and diverse neighborhoods. Inclusive and diverse neighborhoods with a variety of incomes gets us to the idea that marginal retail will become less marginal. We will have much more opportunities for the broad array of goods and services that many of us take for granted on a regular basis. And as a result of that, we will enhance our housing options. On socialization issues, cultural, language, and racial barriers have been with us for a long time. They continue to be with us. We need to continue to work. Amenities in some neighborhoods aren't quite what they are in other neighborhoods. We need to balance that scorecard. And as was mentioned in the transportation section, we need to enhance transportation opportunities for those residents who do not have opportunities for a private occupied, do not have a single occupancy vehicle or a car, and make other ways for them to get around. So what we're going to spend the next few minutes doing is going over the elements in the report that are first floor reactions to building this, and I will turn it over to Bill Dunlap now to address the issues of the built environment.
If I can just interject here, this is very, very helpful to everyone, but if we could do this expeditiously, it would be helpful, because we have a very long docket to get through, plus a closed session. And I'll first say that we all have copies of these reports. If you can just sort of go through this quickly, and then we can look at the copies. If we have questions, we can ask them at the next informal meeting. That's the
Okay. With that being said, I'm going to jump right in. Our first initiative under the built environment is blight abatement. And we have 3 action items that we are currently pursuing. The first is demolition of blighted properties, as we talked about time and time again. Those blighted properties have a definite impact on the functioning of the neighborhoods throughout our city. The blighted properties are definitely targeted in 2 ways. One, the first being the demolition of those that are deemed to be in an emergency situation, and then also the demolition of properties that we also deem to be unsafe for that particular neighborhood. The second action item is the boarding of vacant properties. These are properties that are not at a point where they need to be removed or demolished, but certainly need to be closed so that we prevent illegal activity from occurring there, and also to sort of manage the threat of any bad things, harmful things occurring within those properties. The third action item is the acquisition through our Spot Blight program. And currently we have resources dedicated, committed this year to acquire 4 properties. Funding for first fiscal year 2012 is in the amount of $800,000. $400,000 of that amount is dedicated to boarding and demolition of vacant and blighted properties. The additional $400,000 in the first year will be used specifically for our Spot Blight program. And we anticipate that we will be able to acquire at least 2 to 3 properties. And that really depends wholly on properties that we're going after and current market values. Those that we have targeted in the first year are in fairly stable neighborhoods, so there is a possibility that we will spend a little bit more than we have anticipated. On the average being $100,000, we may spend a little bit more than that on these first 2 properties. In the second year, in 2013, the amount that we have dedicated is $600,000. Again, we'll have $400,000 that will be allocated for boarding and for demolition, and an additional $200,000 that will be As far as what we have been able to complete so far in the first quarter, we have demolished approximately 12 properties, and that's 12 of 50 that we have targeted for this year. We have boarded 52 properties of 225. The 52 that have been boarded has amounted in an expenditure of about $16,000, and we've spent approximately $70,000 on demolitions. The acquisitions, again, are still pending. We have 2 properties that have been identified that we are moving through the process on as we stand. Items or future needs for long-term success relate to increasing funding for the blight abatement program, which will allow us to target properties. This is, again, citywide, so it's not just in our at-risk neighborhoods. We are also faced with the fact that our city region home dollars, our federal funds, have been reduced over the last year, and we are looking for the possibility of a further reduction moving forward into 2013. The next initiative is the East View Initiative, which is an opportunity that we have taken on to support a neighborhood in the east end of the city. It's located in the 7th District, just off of Mechanicsville Turnpike. Within that neighborhood, we have 3 specific action items that we are pursuing in order to improve conditions in that neighborhood. The first being to undertake and complete a blight study. That blight study will be done in a portion of that neighborhood where we see opportunities for infill development and also the opportunities to purchase larger tracts of property for larger development projects. The second action item is the acquisition and rehab of 1 property in that first year, and that target will probably take place along Mechanicsville Turnpike, which is the major corridor that runs along the edge of the neighborhood. The last action item, and this goes to the redevelopment of the entire neighborhood, is to focus on initiating a community planning effort. Right now, the city has committed to pursue the redevelopment of this particular neighborhood, and in that vein has applied for a choice application through HUD. If successful, that will result in $300,000 in planning dollars that will be dedicated to the neighborhood. What that does, if we're successful with achieving the planning dollars, it sets us up so that we will have the ability to then apply for additional resources for the implementation of that plan. That implementation grant can be as much as $31 million. In the first year, fiscal year 2012, we had approximately $150,000. Those dollars will be dedicated, one, to paying for our blight study in the amount of approximately $30,000. The additional resources, $120,000, will be used for redevelopment, possibly of 1 home, again, along the Mechanicsville Turnpike corridor. Actions that we have taken so far in the first quarter, we have identified a blight study consultant and are looking to complete the procurement process so that we will have him in a position to begin his work in January of 2012. We have also began working very closely with that community in establishing an advisory committee, and also plan to begin a pre-planning process that will begin in the month of November and run through the month of January, where we will be working very closely with the residents of that neighborhood to establish priorities and assist them in developing capacity there. Last item is future needs. We'll just jump to that real quickly, and that is to work very closely on finding resources so that we can complete the redevelopment area, whether that be through choice application, allocation, or through from the city's coffers.
Thank you. I'm going to stop it here. And with some miscommunication somewhere, we're getting quarterly reports. All this information is very helpful as we move forward, but that's what it is. I'd like to stop here, if we could have presentations, and then on the next informal, if we have questions, then we can deal with that. And I know you guys work really hard to do these. To tell you the truth, it's surprising to me. So, it would be helpful if we could give us more.
What we can do is the council, we can take the rest of the reports along with the document we gave you, submit that to staff, your staff, give you a chance to look at it. And then at the next informal or whichever committee you want us to come to, we can make this presentation.
I think that would be helpful. Because this is very valuable information. It is just not exactly the day to go. Thanks.
President, I just have a question. Mr. Marshall, is this for, when we just saw there, this is for every neighborhood in every district?
Sorry.
Is this for every neighborhood in every district? Are the council members going to like work with you as far as like some of the neighborhoods in their districts?
Well, for specific things that we talked about, for example, in the last presentation, when we talked about derelict buildings or blighted buildings, yes, we can talk about that. There were some special initiatives that were in particular parts of the city, like Brooklyn Park Boulevard, that we talked about during the budget. But there are other areas that we can do we can have other focus areas, or we can focus on other areas for different programs throughout the course of this budget year. Yes, ma'am. One of the things I think, as Doug pointed out, we're trying to finish we'll finish the blight study, so we know where those houses are, or those structures are, and we can focus specifically on who will get the most bang for the buck.
And then the commercial properties too?
Yes, that's why I went back to the structures as opposed to houses, because some of them are commercial.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Marshall. I'd like to, Mr. Jordan, are you in a tight schedule today? Okay, can we do docket first? Thanks. Let's do docket next, and then we'll do legislative.